Hello, welcome back to Tony Northeastern, and I had some really fantastic comments on the last video regarding the cobblestones, of course, and the choice what building was to go in that little area there. And I think the brick building is the one that's the winner. I did have a couple, however, who did prefer the prefab because it is dated to around about the same time, around about the 1950s, 60s. So thank you for that, and so there it goes. It's now in position. So that's the ultimate winner. I'm still waiting for a few more buildings so I can place them in this area, just to get a rough idea of how it's going to turn out, because once I get an idea of where the buildings can go, I can draw around the buildings and weather the cobblestones around the buildings, if that makes sense. Yes, I'm still waiting for a water tower for there, and yeah, that's it. I'm just waiting for the water tower to go there. Yes, going back to the comments, one comment in particular, I can't remember who it was from, but the amount of buildings that you need for the yard, he was saying that you need a stores. Well, this is going to be my stores building, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to lose that LMS that's on there and repaint that, and that's going to sit just about there, so that'll be my stores. So we've got the offices, we've got the stores, we have the diesel tanks, of course, we have the diesel servicing pumps there as well. We have an old crane, an old water crane, which will probably just sit about there if it doesn't look too crowded. Maybe if I move that to the back, that guy could sit just about there, or maybe up against the wall there, something like that. Yeah, but I'll probably lift that off on a plinth or something. But yeah, and there'll be a brick wall running along this edge here. Oh, we have a slope going into the yard. Obviously that's going to be the continuation of the road, which will go under that bridge. And that brings me to the subject of bridges, because I need to look at doing this bridge here. Now this bridge here is going to be fitted just about there. Now, I did mention in the last video that I need to do this bridge first before I do any more to the diesel yard, while I'm waiting for other bits and pieces. So I've made a little start using the coffee stirring sticks. I have glued some there and some there and some there. Obviously I'm going to create a lattice work there with some walker boards on, and then I'll paint that black before the bridge sides go up, and that's what I'm about to do now. So I shall do a bit more. As you can see, I've already put a little bit of detail on the edge there. That's just coffee stirrer sticks again, just stuck on. So I've done that side. I've done that side as well, and I need to cap this capping stones off on that bridge there and there as well, using the lollipop sticks. The kit, which is here. I must have had this kit stuck up here in the loft for at least 2 years, if not more, waiting for the moment to go there. As you've probably noticed, it's not a square on bridge, it's at a slight angle. And so I'm putting these little supports for the walkway in at a slight angle. As you can see, I've got hundreds of these things to put in. Well, seems like hundreds. All I'm using to cut these coffee stirrers up is just a pair of side cutters. Okay, now that the cross members are down, I've just made a start just here, putting some coffee stirrer sticks this way now. So I'm only butting it up against the rails. And as you can see, it's starting to lift, so if I just put some weights on till it goes off, while it's drying, we'll make the tops for these, the capping stones. Okay, as you can see, we've moved on a little bit. The running boards are in, and the capping stones are in just for this bridge area here. I'm not going to worry too much about that bridge yet because the tracks need putting in, as you can see, and they just go to the edge. Well, the actual track bed goes to the edge over there. So, and until I get the fiddle yard baseboard in, there's no point continuing any further than the ends of these tracks here. So the next job to do is I'm going to paint this area here black, these running boards brown, and I'm going to heavily weather them grey. I'm going to paint in this area here black as well, and the same there as well. I'll do the same to both sides. These coping stones, I'll leave them and do them the same time as I do this stonework on this wall here. These capping stones are just lollipop sticks, just scored with a saw, roughly about 8mm apart. And once they're painted, they should look something similar to these capping stones here. So there's still a fair bit to do. Okay, I've done a little bit more, and I've added some black matte to infill between the sleepers and the running boards. So here's a quick look at the girder sides, and that is going to be one impressive bridge. Right, so the next thing I want to do in this little bit here is to paint these running boards. I'll do that with a brown and then go over them with a very dark grey wash. Just really rub it into the grain. See if I can lift some of that black that's occurred while I was painting the black infill. Okay, so that's the actual colour. It looks a bit yellowy on the screen, but I'm sure once that's darkened down it'll look okay. Right. Okay, while we're waiting for the paint to dry, let's have another look at these girder sides. Now they're not 100% fit, so I'm going to have to make up some girder plates to fill in these gaps. So the sides I'm going to be using are the Wills plate sides, so I'll just glue a bit onto there, and then I'll be able to paint both sides and then pin these on. This bridge kit was designed for a single track bridge. The central girders here slot into the grooves to allow for a single track. So I'm going to have to make also a piece that will span the twin tracks, and so I'm going to have a look round and see what scraps I can find in my come in handy box to see what I can do there. But these are the girder plates I'm going to use to make up the gaps on both sides of the girder plates. Just glue them back to back, and I need 39mm, so I'm going to have to maybe put a couple of these offcuts on the bottom to raise some height. Otherwise, as you can see, they don't match. So if I had another piece on, get a little bit more. But yeah, I think I'll persevere with it. I've cut off some of the flashing, some of this flashing to make the top and the bottom, just to give it that little extra height. I needed 29 and I've got 28, which will just sit underneath the buttress nicely. You'll see when it comes together. As you can see, I have made a centre span for the bridge, just using what was left over from the Daypole bridge that's on Newcastle, and bits and pieces that were left over from the gasometer. These two parts are from the original kit, and all the rest of it is just made up. So let's have a dry run and have a look, see what it looks like on the layout. Okay, here we are at the construction site where the girder sides are just resting. They're not glued or anything yet because they've still got to be painted. And judging by the looks of it, it suits the area quite well. And this centre section will just sit across there when the sides are pinned to the MDF. Okay, as you can see, I've pinned one section of the girder bridge up and it's looking quite good. I have painted it a very light green. It still needs weathering, and I've also weathered the tracks in readiness. So it's just a case of pinning the other side on to get the full effect. Right, as you can see, I've added the top bracing part and I've used Power Bond 806. It's basically a super glue. As you probably noticed, I've had to twist the center part to make it fit because of the arch shape, but it works out quite well, and it's just plenty of height for the coach to miss. So all I've got to do now is, when that dries, is touch up the paintwork, because no doubt the glue's going to leave some white residue around these joints there, and touch up the pins and any other bits and pieces, and then it's finished. And that is another bridge on the layout. Okay, there we have it. The bridge is now finished. Just a case of weathering it a little bit, but as you can see, it's quite an impressive bridge, probably the most impressive bridge on the layout at the moment. So it could be weeks or even months away before you see any trains running across this bridge. But it had to be done. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. And we'll see you again next week, where we shall concentrate back on the diesel yard. Bye now.